Hello guys, my name is Vijay Kumar Waka. My name is Vijay Kumar Waka, and I am working as a senior solution consultant in Epicero. Okay, today we shall discuss about batch processing. Okay, so this is part of core module. Okay, so if you okay, I have removed that. Yeah, this is part of core module. Okay, we'll have three things. One is batch job, the second one is batch step, the third one is batch aggregator. So we'll use all these things based upon our requirement when you uh, deal with the batch processing in your flow. Okay. So why we use batch processing? So let's go through the documentation. So these are the three. These are the three examples or instances or scenarios where you'll be using the batch processing. Okay. So handling large quantities of incoming data from an API into a legacy system. Okay, or if you have to do some sync up data sync up between two systems. Okay, so in that case you can use this batch processing. Okay, like this. So these are the examples where you can use batch processing. It is mainly used to process the large amount of data. Okay, or bulk records. Okay, so we'll be dividing those records into chunks or batches. Okay, and uh, so that is the way we'll be processing the records in batches. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, this is the basic architecture. So event source, event processor. Source is nothing but it could be like HTTP listener or some other thing like which can be fit into the source section of the flow. Okay, and event processor. So this whole thing is the event processor, right? So if you see, this is the flow. Okay, the at a high level, it is like it's a batch job, and inside that we'll have batch step, and also we'll have on complete. Okay, so if you see here, this is the source section, right? This is the event source, and this whole thing is the processor section. Okay, so inside this we have I have added the batch job, right? So inside this we have batch step, also batch aggregator, and also on complete, these things. Okay, so we can have multiple batch steps for a batch job. We can add multiple batch steps. So by default when you drag the batch job, automatically batch step one batch step will be coming. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so let's go with this. So see here, we are going to split the uh, the bulk file, right? So that is what they are talking about here. Okay, they're also talking about the error handling part, and yeah, so this is how batch job processing phases are like load and dispatch, process, and on complete. So here the payload will be loaded. Okay, and it will be loaded based upon the batch block size we have set here, and it will be dispatched to the batch step. Okay, and what after that we are doing the processing here, right? Okay, so this batch step and batch aggregator will see here, you see process records here is there, so that means this is processing, and the third phase is on complete. So after completion of this batch processing thing, what you have to do, that is what you can put in this portion. Okay, so just go through this one as well, batch job versus batch job instance. Okay, so load and dispatch, process. So this is how it will be processed. Like I told you, right, we can maintain multiple batch steps. So that is what they are showing here. Batch step 1, batch step 2, and batch step 3. So once the batch job is done with the first batch steps execution, it will be the control will shift to the queue this way. Okay, and from there it will come back to the batch step. It's not like from batch step 1 it will directly go to the batch step 2. Okay, so it will go back, and again it will the content will go to the payloads will go to the batch step 2, and once it is done with that, it will go to the queue section, and again same thing repeats. Okay, so yeah, we also can refine batch steps processing. If you see here on the batch step, we have two things, right? One is accept expression, the other is accept policy. Okay, so if you see here, no failures, only failures, are all. So this is how you can filter the payloads that you'll be getting into this batch step. Okay, so this is what refinement on within batch step or on batch step. Okay, so they are discussing about on complete, that is nothing but this one. So we'll see what is the scope of variables and payload uh, in all these sections, like what is the scope of a variable of, like this, okay, within this batch step and within batch aggregator, and also on the on complete phase, and also on the outside this batch job, what is the scope of these variable and payloads. Okay, so these things we'll see. Yeah, variable propagation scheduling strategy, we have two things. One is by default it is ordered sequential, and we have something like round robin. Okay, we'll see these things if at all, if required, in the second session of the batch job, batch processing. Okay, so but we'll in this session we'll see how the batch job will work at a high level, or we'll see how the control will shift from one block of one portion to another portion within the batch job. Okay, so that is the main agenda for this session. Okay, now, so I have configured a listener. So the path is batch. Here I'm printing the payload, and you see here I took a variable where I have set the variable name as counter and value as 1. Okay, so this is this whole thing, whatever yeah, this whole thing is the batch job. I'm expanding it, okay, and I'm collapsing it. So this whole thing is the batch job, right? So if you so this is the batch step. So you see batch job, batch step, and on complete. If you expand this, within batch step we have batch aggregator as well. Okay, so yeah, so we'll see how, the propagation of these variables and payloads from one section of the batch job to other section of the batch job. Okay, so I'm expanding this. Yeah, so these are the main components, like batch job, batch step, batch aggregator, and on complete. So you need not use this batch aggregator, you can delete that. Okay, if at all, if required, you can add it to the batch step. And I'm telling once again that we can have multiple batch steps within one batch job. Okay, so if you see here, I have set by default it is batch block size is 100, but I have set here it as 10. Okay, and in the input, this is my sample input. So where in the name section, just to differentiate each and every record, I have added an integer for my name. Okay, for each and every record. Okay, so this is a CSV file. So I'll send this CSV file as an input to this particular flow. Okay, so within this batch step, I'm printing the payload, and I'm incrementing the counter. This counter, like if you see the counter name here, it is counter only. Here also the same thing. Okay, and here I'm setting the payload. I'll let you know why I have configured this. And here I'm printing the counter variable, this thing. Okay, and also the same thing, I'm printing the counter variable and I'm incrementing it. In the transform message, I'm converting it to JSON, and you see here I'm printing the payload, something like just put variables and payloads in the form of loggers, configure the payloads, configure the variables, increment the variables. Okay, just configure this way. Okay, so in the on complete phase, in the first logger I'm printing the payload, and in the second logger I'm printing the variable value. And you see, after the batch processing, I have put two loggers. One is which will print the counter value. The other is the other logger will print the payload. Okay, so this is the whole flow I have configured for the demo. Okay, now let me go to Postman. This is the file, right? Batch input.csv. Okay, so that is what I am sending as an input. Okay, so if you copy paste these things, if you copy paste this content in the raw section, it will throw an error because um, I mean we don't have an option to make it as a CSV here, right? We cannot make the any point studio understand that this is a CSV file. Okay, so if you simply copy paste this, it will treat it as a text or string. So, but ideally, this particular batch job will expect something like array or object. Okay, so if it is an array, it will, we'll have the looping behavior. If it is an object, it's like only one object you are sending to the batch job. Okay, yeah. So go to binary, just upload the file here. Select file, this thing, batch input, right? Now click on send. Now we'll see we'll analyze the output actually. Okay, so I'm copying this, pasting it in a new notepad. Okay, so this is the input which I have sent via Postman to our application. Okay, so till here it is fine. Now ideally what will happen, so here I have configured batch block size as 10, right? So that means this input will be partitioned or segregated into 3 batches because um, first batch and also till 20 it is second batch and this is the third batch. It won't consider in a sequence way. Okay, all these 25 records will be available at this point, okay, on the batch job or here. Okay, but it will not be, but when it is segregating the block size with 10, it won't consider like in this sequence. Okay, this is the first batch job, this is the second batch job. It won't consider that way. It will simply consider 10 random records, okay, from this payload, and that is how it will first send one batch of 10 records to this batch step. Okay, so that is how it picks random of 10 records and it will send to the batch step and it will go ahead with its processing, okay, as you configure or as per your configuration within this batch step. Okay, so one thing we have to remember, okay, or understand is that, see, this variable, okay, will be sent as an input to this to all these things. So let me take a snap of this. Okay, if you see here, this variable, I'm only talking about the variable. So this variable will send as an input to this batch job. Okay, so that means the same thing will be available to the batch step. Okay, every time for every occurrence. Okay, so the same variable will be sent as an input to this batch aggregator as well, and also the same variable will be sent as an input to the on complete as well. Okay, it's like once the batch job started executing, okay, so this will be sent as a copy to all the portions of this batch job, whether it is batch step or batch aggregator or on complete, it will send the copy of the variables. Okay, so for example, I am modifying this variable, okay, this variable here. Okay, but this will not be sent as an input to this aggregator. See, if you see here, there is some dotted line, right? So only it will send the payload, okay, modified payload, but it will not send the variables. It will not send. Okay, that is what you have to remember. And also one more thing, from batch aggregator, you'll not get anything outside of that batch aggregator. Like if you modify the variables, or if you declare some variables, or if you are changing the payload, so whatever comes, it's like one way actually. It accepts something from this batch step or from outside this batch job, but it will not give any output outside this batch aggregator. That is what you have to remember. Okay, so only variable will be copied to the all the components of batch job, that is batch step, batch aggregator, and on complete. Okay, and also it depends how many times the batch step is iterating, how many times the batch aggregator is iterating. These things will depend upon the batch job, batch block size we set here on the batch job, and also on the batch aggregator. But every time the copy of this particular variable will be sent to batch step and also the batch aggregator. It's not like you do some changes in the batch step for these variables, but it will not be available to the batch aggregator. But this change will be available, this change to the variable will be available to the batch step, the next batch step. That is what you have to remember. Okay, yeah, let me minimize this. So now let us see this, see the output, how it got executed, how the control has gone through from the starting to the end point of this batch job. Okay, if you see here, we have configured the batch job size, batch block size as 10, right? So it picks randomly, it picks some 10 records and it will send it as a block. So that is the reason you see here it is Vijay 1, it is 2, okay, it is 3 here, and see here it is 11, okay, here it is 4, here it is 5, okay, and it is 21, 22. So here we have the header actually, so just remember that. But here we could see it's a combination actually, like header and the detail, right? So this is the header part or column values, okay, and this is the data, actual data. So if you see here it is like Vijay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you see here it is like 21, 22, okay, and it is 6 here, 7, 23, 24. So it's like that, like it will send any 10 payloads, any 10 records as an input to the batch step. That is first thing, and it is very clear. So if you see here, I am printing the payload, right? So 10 records will be there at this point, and it will send one by one inside this batch step. So that is the reason you could see one by one record here with the header and the the column values and the these are the name, gender, profession, and location. These are the column values, right? And this is the data. Okay, so this thing, so these are the outcomes from this logger, whatever I'm highlighting. So these are the outcomes from the logger that we configured in the batch step. Okay, this thing. So it picks up any random 10 records. After that, see here, I am incrementing this variable, right? So counter is the initial variable. I am incrementing it by 1. So now what I am doing, okay, here let us see first the variable behavior. So I am printing the variable value here within the batch step. Okay, so that means if you see here, this is the payload, and if you see here it is, this is the variable value. So you see here it is always 2, here it is 2, and after this record it is 2, after this record it is 2. Okay, so that means every time this batch step is getting executed, this variable is being sent as a copy to the each and every batch step. Okay, that is the first thing we have to remember. That is the reason always the variable, it's like every time only counter value is 1, and that is what is being sent to the batch step, and we are incrementing it. Okay, and that is what is being printed by this logger within the batch step. That is first thing. Okay, I hope till here it is very clear. Okay, if not, just I mean, go back and listen to this video once again till here. Okay, so till here it is fine. Now you see I'm setting this payload here, right? Like hello world. I just put it intentionally because I want you to understand that here we are getting payload like these things, right? That is Vijay 1, 2, 3. So we are getting some other payload. That is what we could see here. But here I'm overriding that payload. So what I want you to understand is that, so this, as we talked about the variables changes will not be shared to the batch aggregator, but any changes to the received payload in the batch step, those changes will be taken or forwarded to the batch aggregator. Okay, so you see here batch aggregator size, again we have size here that I have configured with 2. Okay, so here it is 10. Okay, we'll be not having any size configuration on batch step, but on batch aggregator it is 2 here, right? So if I maximize this, see here, that means how many times it should come. Here it is 10, right? And we are sending 25 records, like these are the 25 records, right? So that means this batch aggregator should execute a minimum like 25 by 2, that is almost equal to 12.5. So it will execute 13 times, right? Okay, so we'll see that actually how we can identify that 25 by 2, that is, yeah, correct. It is like 12.5, but it will execute 13 times because every time, so 2 into 12 is equal to 24, right? Okay, so the remaining one record will execute in the next iteration. Though the aggregate size is 2, it will consider that one, that leftover record. Okay, so that is the reason this batch aggregator will repeat 25 times, 13 times. Okay, yeah. So how to recognize this, that is what we have to understand, right? So here I'm setting this payload, and here I'm printing the payload once again, right? So in that case, okay, so let us simply count it. Okay, so this is one, this is the where the batch aggregator has executed once. Okay, and this is second time. Okay, this is third, and this is fourth, this is for the fifth time, this is for the sixth time. Okay, and this is for the seventh time, this is for the eighth time, this is for the ninth and 10th. Okay, this is for the 11th time, and this is for the 12th time. I think we missed one somewhere, so yeah, or else if you count this thing, let us see 25 we got, right? Ideally it should get executed 13 times. Okay, so yeah, 12 twos are 24 plus 1, yeah, 13 times it should come. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, yeah, here we missed, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 135, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the leftover one, 13th one. Yeah, so this is how, because batch aggregator size is 2, right? Okay, so whenever it finds 2 records, uh, uh, I mean, so whenever it finds 2 records at this level, at this point, so it will take those 2 records and it will process based upon the logic we configure here. And the one more thing I want you to remember is the changed payload will be considered by this batch aggregator but not the variable. Okay, if you see here, um, yeah, counter, yeah, I'm printing this, I have I have incremented this counter, right? But if you see here, this var counter is what I'm printing here. Okay, so as soon as this payload, whatever we have seen, after that the value will be 1. You see here, see, this is the one we are talking about, this one, right? So let me copy till here, copy and click on count. So though you are seeing it for the 15 times, so two loggers are for, one is for this thing, the other is for this one. Here I'm printing the variable right here. So one logger is related to this thing and the other logger is related to this particular thing. So if you exclude these two, that means wherever we could see, so that means we could see this particular logger getting executed for 13 times. Okay, and the variable value is always 1. So it concludes that though we are incrementing here, it is not coming to this batch aggregator. Okay, so that is what you have to understand. And whatever you do something here, it will not come out of the batch aggregator scope. Okay, so we are done with batch step and batch aggregator. We can have multiple batch steps. Okay, and we can also do some refinement on on the batch steps. Okay, so you put a number of batch steps, you can do the refinement. Okay, so, and the if we discuss about these things like on complete, so you see, so we are not able to see the payload properly, right? So yeah, it is an immutable batch job result, but we'll be not able to see the payload on the incomplete phase of this. So this is kind of MCD question. Okay, and but you'll be able to see the variable value. That is what we could see here, right? This one. Okay, and the output of this particular batch job is nothing but the statistics. How many records got processed successfully, how many records got failed. So you see here, right? Total records processed 25, successful records are 25 and failed records are 0. Oh, this is one thing. Okay, and one more thing, the last and final thing is that you see here, we could see those two things here, right? These two are related to uh, the loggers that I have configured after the batch job, right? So that is what we could see here. Don't know why this is showing in the beginning itself. Okay, but you see the counter value here, it is 1. Okay, that is this one, and we could not see the payload properly even after the batch job processing. Okay, so this is what this is all about batch processing. And also we missed one basic thing, that is max failed records. So if you hover this here, when the number of failed records exceeds this amount, okay, the batch execution will be stopped. So as per this configuration, if the batch job finds at least one issue, one error, so this whole batch job execution will stop. Okay, so that is what we have to remember. So in order to ignore, for example, if you put 10, so it will consider 10 errors. Okay, so it will accept 10 errors, and whenever we see the 11th error, it will stop its execution. So if you put -1, that means whenever, it's like there is no limit for the number of errors within the batch job. Okay, within the batch job. So this is all about batch processing within Mule 4. Okay, you can try different combinations. I took like loggers and transform messages only, so you can put some database insert operations, something like that. Okay, so just practice on the batch processing. This is also very important and very good concept, okay, in Mule 4, and also very widely asked concept in interviews as well. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. for listening to my video. If you like it, please subscribe and share in your network. Thank you so much.